Hey everybody, Dude here. Yesterday we talked about my diet and what my plan is to lose dietarily to help lose 110 pounds. So I had a lot of people asking in the comments the obvious next question, which is, what about the exercise? What about the workout? And so in this video, I want to just kind of quickly go over what my plan is to physically rebuild strength, improve my health, and lose the weight at 53 years old. And the answer might be simpler than you think. Now, before we dive into this too much, again, I just want to say I'm not a fitness trainer. I'm not here to tell you what to do. This channel is really about my journey. It's about my health. It's about just sharing what I'm doing. And so, again, if some of you follow along with what I'm doing, great. We'll have some great things to talk about. But if you're doing something totally different, I get it. We're all on different rungs of the ladder in our progress. We have different philosophies and different lifestyles. We may even live in different countries. So if you're doing something fitness-wise that I'm not, hey, I support you. And I hope that you support me and we can all grow together. That's what this channel is all about. One thing that I've learned from losing and gaining weight several times over the years, over the last 30 years, is I tend to make things complicated. So kind of like my diet, I went for simplicity is best. And it's the same with the exercise plan. And I'm really going to focus on three main pillars. And that is strength, number one, mobility, and movement. The first pillar is strength training. And I want to be clear, I'm not talking about like hardcore bodybuilding or ego lifting or, just trying to get ripped and jacked so I can look good. I mean, don't get me wrong, we'd all love a six-pack, right? But right now, that's not the goal. That is not even in the picture right now. I am talking basic strength and functional training. If I'm really honest with you, I am weak right now. Push-ups, hard. Hanging from a bar, impossible. Sit-ups, funny. Even something like squatting and sitting in a human natural position is I don't think it's happening right now. So the strength training goal is simple: push, pull, legs, core. Just rebuilding the essential foundation. As a man who's in his mid-50s, strength training is also important because obviously as men, our natural testosterone levels start to drop. Strength training actually helps normalize and bring those back around. Also, as far as like being insulin resistant and having metabolic syndrome, strength training helps fire up the metabolism and is excellent for kind of rebuilding that metabolic health. Because if you're fat and sitting on the couch like I have been, you've got metabolic syndrome. You don't need a doctor to tell you that. I mean, you just should know, like, you've got metabolic issues, what I like to call metabolically challenged. So strength training is very important to improving insulin sensitivity, helping out with metabolic health, especially when you're overweight and so you're like me, trying to lose 110 pounds. So my strength training schedule will be pretty simple. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 days a week. I'll probably alternate upper body on Monday, lower body Wednesday, upper body Friday. The next week, reverse it. I get two lower bodies, one upper body. That gives your muscles 5 days in between to recover and rebuild. And it's a good solid plan. As far as the actual workout, I'll probably film a video at some point of, work out with me, or here's what I'm doing, so you can see exactly how simple and it is what I'm doing. But that's the kind of the concept. 3 days a week, and then moving on to other things. I think at this stage in life, the key for me is consistency beats intensity. It's not about, becoming a total beefcake. It's about sticking with it. Just like the diet, the one that you follow and stick with is the best diet out there. Same thing for exercise. The one that you'll stick with and be consistent with is the one that's gonna matter the most for your health. Second pillar is mobility. It's probably the one I need the most. And as you get older, everything starts to stiffen up. I get out of bed in the morning, it feels like I'm 80. My knees hurt, my hips hurt, my back's stiff. Yeah, I'm sure you can relate if you're in your mid-50s. And so there's lots of mobility training out there. I'm talking about simple movements to bring back joint mobility, not necessarily stretching. Things like hanging from a bar, practicing sitting in a squat until I can actually sit in a squat. And I'm not talking about barbell squats. I'm talking about sitting in a squat. And I know there's a couple of programs. There's lots of free YouTube videos on mobility training. I may look up some of those, or there are a couple of programs I've looked into that are pretty cheap that have to do with mobility training. I may buy one of those and follow it. My biggest worry about one of those is can I even do the basic things that they're asking you to do? Because, I've got a nice expensive workout machine sitting on my wall at home, and it has all sorts of coaches and trainers and programs. And I would put on like the basic stretching one, and I'm like, okay, first thing you're gonna do is get on the floor and spread your legs or whatever. And I'm like hell, dude. Like even getting down on the floor is hard. Where's the one for fatties with the arm circles and the toe touches and the easy stretches? That's about where I feel like I'm at right now. So, sure some of you can relate. So part of the whole training is that mobility training. And I think what I'll do is like, for example, strength training or weights on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I'll do some sort of a mobility app or program or video or something online and work on that side of things. The last pillar is movement, and I think that's incredibly important. I'm not a big believer in cardio. If you're younger and you want to do, high intensity interval training, or HIIT as they call it, that's great. Or if you're in maintenance mode and you feel like you can do that and, sprint on and off and all that kind of stuff. Well, I can't even do that right now. So for me, it's just about movement. And I think I want to try and move 6 days a week. So in addition to a lightweight workout or a mobility training, getting out on a trail like I am right now in beautiful southern Utah and going on a walk where you get your heart rate increased. I don't need big cardio to increase my heart rate, but if I can get my heart rate up to 120 or above and keep it there for a good half hour, 45 minutes, dude, that's going to help my cardiovascular system. It's going to help the circulation in my body. It's actually, if you go do it right after you eat dinner or a meal, it's going to have a huge impact on blood glucose levels. It'd be super healthy for that. But so things like going on a walk, going on a little bike ride. I've got an e-bike, so it's pretty easy, but you still get some movement. You don't have to push the button the whole time. Going on a hike on the weekend, like an easy trail, just something to get out. So for me, that's going to be what the movement part is about. Now for you, what do you like to do? I'm not telling you what to like. If you like biking over walking, go for it. I can tell you right now, turn it around. I'm not interested in running a marathon. I'm not interested in doing a triathlon. So those aren't my goals. And the thing about this community here is, if those are your goals, welcome. That's awesome. That's just nothing, fit or not, it's not something I'm interested in. But if you are, we still support you in your journey. Now, if I can be really honest with you, this is the part of the journey that I'm actually the most stressed about. I can do pretty good with eating. I do pretty good with mapping out the mental stuff, and I don't really have a problem sharing the journey. It's when the rubber meets the road and doing the exercise, that's the part that kind of stresses me out. I don't really know where I'm at. So in a day or two, I think maybe Friday night, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna do a fitness test, some basics, hang from a bar, push up, things I can do, and not to mock myself or to be embarrassed. It will be embarrassing, but to basically take a benchmark of, hey, just like I did emotionally, what do I see when I look in the mirror? Where am I at right now? Physically, where am I at right now? And I will be taking before pictures, before measurements, my starting weight, all that kind of stuff. I'm not showing you the before pictures, not yet, unless we get some decent after pictures. But I'll share my measurements. I'll share things like that and my weight and stuff. I don't have a problem with that. So we're gonna do that coming up shortly, and that makes me nervous. So quick recap, that's my plan. It's pretty simple. Some sort of strength training 3 times a week, some sort of light mobility training 3 times a week, practicing those things till I get better, and then just movement, getting out. It's the perfect time of year. You know, daylight savings time, it's going to be getting dark at like 9:30 around here where I live pretty soon. Perfect time to get out and enjoy nature, enjoy a walk, enjoy a little bike ride, whatever it is you like to do, and to just get moving and kind of just take it incrementally while I lose weight, try and rebuild my fitness and my focus and take it one day at a time. Anyway, that's the plan. Thanks for joining. You know, if you want to subscribe and all that crap, go ahead, but we'll see you tomorrow. Dude out.